Have you ever had to deal with one of your cars being in an accident?
Too many times. I mean, listen, anytime I've had accidents, I've luckily been paid through like the client's insurance, because one thing we do that's very important, not just to protect us, to protect the client. You have to have your own full coverage insurance on your own car. That transfers over. So God forbid you crash a $300,000 car, which has happened plenty of times. You're not on the hook. Your insurance will step in and indemnify you.
Oh my God. I can't even imagine getting that bill.
Dude, that's why you need insurance, man.
You're the owner of RNS Exotics, correct?
Yes, sir.
And what does that entail?
So it's an exotic car rental company. I rent out exotic cars for, people that want to drive one daily, weddings, sometimes proms, corporate events. I've done some corporate events, video shoots, music shoots. There's a lot of different occasions and events where people would actually look to rent like Ferrari, Lamborghini, Rolls Royce. So that's where I come in.
What's your typical client like?
Me personally, my typical client, I would say guys between like, my regulars are guys between the ages of like 25 and 30. That, every once in a while they want to have fun on a weekend. Sometimes I get guys that are in their 50s, 60s, but I usually don't go under 25 just because that's my age minimum. Because I've learned, I haven't learned, but I've learned from others because I never made this mistake. But like when you go under 25, tend to get some knuckleheads, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
You have to deal with accidents and stuff like that. Have you ever had to deal with one of your cars being in an accident?
Oh. Too many times.
What's that like?
So, I mean, listen, anytime I've had accidents, I've luckily been paid through like the client's insurance, because one thing we do that's very important. And, it's not just to protect us, to protect the client. When you rent a car, you have to have your own full coverage insurance on your own car. And that transfers over. As long as I do my job, you sign a rental agreement and you're good and you cooperate, that transfers over to your car. So God forbid you crash a $300,000 car, which has happened plenty of times. You get an $100,000 repair bill or a total loss is $300K. You're not on the hook. Your insurance will step in and indemnify you.
Oh my God. I can't even imagine getting that bill.
Dude, that's why you need insurance, man.
For sure. I want you to actually take me to the top. When did this, because to me growing up, I used to love cars. You could ask my buddies. We used to sit down and watch YouTube videos of just freaking Lamborghinis. Yeah. So now that I see you owning a company like this, did this start when you were a young kid dreaming of just owning a car?
Yeah, man. I mean, I've always been into cars, bro. Like ever since I was a young kid, man. I remember like in middle school when I was in like 6th, 7th, 8th grade. Obviously, listen, I had a very good upbringing. My parents gave me everything. There was never nothing they didn't give me, but obviously at the end of the day, they weren't rich. Like they weren't they weren't driving Ferraris, Lamborghinis, Mercedes, like expensive cars. So like when I was like in middle school, I'd see like this is like 2004, 2005. I'd see like a rich kid getting dropped off to like middle school, the school line in like a brand new SL55 AMG with Raketina paper plates, or an S600, or like a brand new 745i. I was like, listen, that's sick. I'd go back to my parents. I'm like, Dad, like, why don't you buy something like this? Like, take me to school. And he's like, bro, like, come on, man. Like, you want me to spend $100,000 on a car? So, like, I guess that always resonated with me. And, eventually I was able to make it something for myself.
Where does that change happen? At what age did you open up the company?
So I opened the company 5 years ago, 2019. Now I was like 28, 27 years old. So a friend of the reason I started is because at the time I had a Porsche 911 that I couldn't rent, that I had, and I was, I wanted to start making some money with, because the payment at the time was just
intense,
catching up to me, bro. And at the time it was like a $1,500 a month payment. Like today I have cars that are like $7,000 a month.
Oh,
paradigms. But dude, I was just like, bro, I can't afford this. So a very, very good friend of mine, I will shout him out because he's the reason I got into the business. He guided me, and he's no longer in the business. My friend Merv. He had a guy coming in from LA, and that guy, my boy Brody, he's actually an up-and-coming musician, Brody Fresh. He's still my client today, my first ever client. Yeah. He's still my client today.
That's sick.
So I take care of him. He rented my 911. I started making some money with it. I was like, you know what? This could, besides just making my nut, I can make a profit doing this.
Yeah.
So then I convinced my now business partner to go half with me. We bought a brand new Huracan at the time, a 2019. I started out as an investor in somebody else's business because I already had a job. I gave this company the car. I'm not gonna say their name, but like, you know, one thing led to another. The relationship soured. They did some things, and then I just took the car back, and now I'm stuck with a brand new Lamborghini that's $4,000 a month.
Holy.
I'm like, my partner's like, dude, like we just a month, like 2 months into ownership. Like the first month, the car didn't even make any money. Like we paid that out of pocket.
That's got to be stressful.
Yeah, my partner's like, dude, like we got a $4,000 a month car. Like we got to sell this thing. I'm like, no, hold on to it. I'm gonna make it happen. So I said, you know what, fuck it.
Where's that attitude come from? Like, I got to make it happen.
Dude, when your back's against the wall, it's your biggest motivator. It's like you have to just get it done.
Because I've met a few people, and then I see it nowadays too. Like, even majority of people my age, you see people give up all the time.
Yeah, man, dude, bro, every day, like. But I mean, that never really goes away. Like, the further you get in business, it just gets harder. Like everybody thinks it gets easy. Like you get to a point where you're coasting. Like unless you're like a multi-billionaire and you own like a big company and you have a board of directors and you hire a CEO. Like unless you're Jeff Bezos, who's hands off on fucking Amazon now. If you're involved in the day-to-day of your business, the more you grow, the more you're gonna deal with, and those highs and lows get more intense.
Definitely.
Like these guys on Instagram, like that sell courses and do all this and preach about the lifestyle, like they make it look like it's so easy. Like, oh, once you get to the top, it's all Richard Mills and diamond chains and just going out and doing it. It's not. Like the highs and lows, the further you progress in a legitimate business, the higher your highs get and the lower your lows get.
What would you tell somebody who's looking at the people on Instagram, like flexing, making it look so easy? Like
99% of it is fake, bro. 99% of it. It's at the end of the day, the guys that are really doing it and the guys that are actually making shit happen don't have the time to show off their. Listen, there's guys on Instagram obviously that show things and they're about it, but like, dude, 99% of these guys that are out here and like their whole purpose on Instagram is just to flaunt materialistically. I feel like is a void for the fact that it's not real.
Yeah.
So they overcompensate.
I've always heard that. Like,
dude, it's the truth, bro.
It's crazy because you get to see it on the daily. Like, you get to
course.
deal with people like that all the time.
100%.
People take your cars to rent, and the next thing you know, you see it up on their Instagram, making it look like they've owned it forever.
Yeah, man. I had this one guy who rented from me. I'm not going to say his name, but this was back in, like, 2021. And he spent a lot of money with me. And to me, he was a good customer. But, bro, this guy was renting my cars. And then he would come up back and forth from Florida. And it turned out that he was taking my cars and pretending to be like an up-and-coming... Remember NFTs?
Yeah.
Back in the day?
Yeah.
Like the digital paintings that people were trying to sell for like hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
He was an NFT scammer.
What?
Like he got a lot of people. He got a couple guys. He got one guy for like $750,000.
Oh, my God.
He got a few people for a lot of money. And he would take my cars... He would take him to Jersey. He would go wherever he went. He operated mostly in, like, central South Jersey. He would take my cars. He'd show up to these investor meetings, look the part, raise the money, and be scamming these people.
That's insane. I actually just had a conversation on Sunday. I posted the episode today with Sonny. He actually was an NFT developer. He didn't scam anybody. He was actually doing it the right way.
Well, no, there was guys legitimately doing it. Yeah. He was trying to exploit the hype to scam people.
There was a ton of people also doing that.
That's what he was doing. Like, there were legitimate NFT sellers, and at the end of the day, listen, if you bought one and it's worth zero now, you're buying an asset that's tied to the market. You didn't get scammed. You just bought something that went down in value. That's not a scam. No, this guy was legitimately raising money saying, oh, I'm releasing this NFT and that NFT and this and that, and he was just pocketing it.
That's insane, man. What has been the craziest thing you've seen in the car rental industry? Because I can only imagine, like, dealing with people who want to rent exotics. Like, there's obviously, like you said, you do weddings, you do big events. Those are the good things. But what are some bad things that people might want to look out for?
The biggest problem that we're plagued with today, and it comes and goes in waves, is theft by conversion.
Yeah.
That's pretty much people come in with fake information, fake licenses, fake insurances. They'll steal somebody's identity. Like, they'll steal a complete identity.
Wow.
They'll make a fake license with their picture and that person's name. They'll somehow get insurance policies in these people's names. And then they'll go out, rent cars, and just never return them. They'll take the trackers out. They'll keep them, and you'll lose your car.
That's crazy.
I've seen it happen a few times.
Have you ever had to deal with that?
No, luckily, because
Wow.
I'm very good at spotting fake licenses, and being in the business 5 years is very easy to catch people when they're like up to no good.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because I ask for a lot of documentation, like
Yeah.
from prospective customers. It's not like a 1, 2, 3 thing. Once in a while, you get somebody, you speak to them, they're straightforward. The screening process goes much smoother, and you have a deal in 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but there's other times where, like, say somebody's traveling, I'll ask, like, okay, you're supposedly from California. They give me a California license. I'm like, okay, you're from California, right? Yeah, okay, so you have a travel itinerary? Like, what airline did you fly? Where are you staying? What hotel are you staying at?
Mm-hmm.
They'll be like, no, I live here. I'll be like, okay, so why do you live in New York with a California license? It's like, oh, I have a California license. All right, well, I know the license is fake, but I'm just like, all right, no, sorry.
That's so weird. I wouldn't even like.
Yeah, man.
The stuff you have to deal with.
Yeah, it's very. I want to say it's avoidable.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, during like hard times like this, because like the economy's been hit hard, like people are hurting, and like the luxury segment, like mine's been hit significantly. Yeah. You know, people have businesses with overhead, and you know that's when these guys come out because they know like your guard's down. Well, most people's guard's down. Mine never isn't, and they're like, listen, it's slow right now. These guys need deals. Like we can get these cars, and that's when they strike usually.
Wow.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because you're taking advantage of somebody pretty much at their lowest point because here's a company, like you said, has overhead and they're struggling and people are just taking advantage of them.
Of course. And they're stealing, like, they're going after, like, expensive cars, man. They're taking, like, I remember at one point they were going after, like, luxury SUVs. Like, there must have been, like, a big black market order for luxury SUVs. Every week I was getting hit up from, like, Newark phone numbers, Newark, Irvington, and, like, East Orange. Is that the bad orange?
I believe so.
East Orange, Irvington, Newark numbers constantly. Every phone call is the same. Do you have a Cullinan? No. Do you have a Urus? No. Do you have a Bentayga? No. Do you have a Range Rover? No. Just luxury SUVs. And eventually, when the fake licenses weren't working, this was back in like 2022.
Mm-hmm.
When the fake, and I actually have a picture of somebody they sent to try to pick the car up. I'll show it to you.
Yeah.
It was pretty funny. So when the fake licenses weren't working, they started getting like random. I don't know why they targeted females, but they would get random females from like these neighborhoods to call in.
Wow.
And what they would do is the girls would have obviously real licenses, real insurances. They would rent the cars from you.
Yeah.
At like 2 a.m, they would hand the cars over to whoever wanted them.
Mm-hmm.
They would do their thing, take out your trackers, whatever they got to do, take out your SOS system so you can't find the car, and then like call you the next day like, oh, car got stolen. Report the car stolen.
Yeah.
So they were trying to do it like that way too. But we caught on to that because like I would ask people like, what are you doing with the car? What do you need it for? And this one girl called in. She's like, oh, I'm going to AC for my birthday. And I look at her license. Her birthday's not for like another 4 months. I'm like, okay, well, your birthday's in 4 months. She's like, oh, no, it's my friend's birthday. My bad. I'm like, I thought you said it was yours. She's like, no, it's my friend's. I'm like, you said it was yours? No, thanks. Like, I was like, listen, I just politely refused. And then I spoke to a couple other people. And then one person actually gave her a car. They got it back. But the car did get stolen, but they had to recover it.
Thank God. What's that recovery process like dealing with police? How long? Sometimes I hear you don't even recover it, obviously.
Yeah, a lot of times. If they're good, you can't recover it.
Mm-hmm.
It's tough. Like, once they take out your trackers, once they get your trackers and the SOS system, you need the help of God.
Yeah, just luck.
Yeah, luck. But a lot of times by that point, the car's in a shipping container already.
I was going to say that. Where do these cars go? Because I see videos of like shipping containers in China, India with G-classes from America and stuff like that.
So you'd be surprised. Some of them go overseas, but a lot of them stay in the States.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes they go to Florida. Sometimes they go to California. A lot of them are going to like California for a while. I had a friend of mine. His Urus got stolen. He recovered it like 3 weeks later in Orlando. The Orlando police recovered it.
What?
But he just got lucky because the Orlando police, the car was being driven around on like fake temps or something, and then I think they ended up chasing the guy.
Yeah.
But they got the car back.
Wow.
Sometimes cars go to Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
Like I remember there's one rental company in Miami. He had a Wraith got stolen on. It got stolen on a rental.
Mm-hmm.
And the car went to. It was at the SEMA Auto Show at one point. and then it got recovered. The I don't know who, like somebody got it. They took it to the SEMA Auto Show. It was on display at the SEMA Auto Show, and then it ended up getting recovered in Chicago.
That's insane.
Yeah, man.
Have you ever heard of? I've been hearing there's a big issue that people will, let's say they steal a car, they'll strip it in a mechanic shop, like leave it bare bones, and then you'll see it at an auction with a salvage title, I believe it is, and then that's how they get it. That's how they get the new title. Like they'll go to auction with no parts, and then the same mechanic that just stripped it of all the parts, will buy it back with a clean title.
Well, the salvage title stuff is hard because like when you get like in a lot of states when you do a salvage title like retitle, you got to do a salvage inspection, and you need to come with receipts of all the parts.
Wow.
Like I think the one state that you don't have to do that in is Vermont. That's why like you'll see a lot of like if you ever see like cars driving around Vermont plates, chances are they're like VIN swapped.
Wow.
You know, but like if you do like a New like that'll never fly in like New York.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
I seen them start cracking down.
Yeah, they've pretty much been on to this stuff. Like it started like early 2020, 2021 is like when it really started crazy. 2019, but now it's like all the cops and you know they're on to like most of the stuff that goes on, but. You're never gonna stop it completely, but you can only drive around so long in a car like that until like you get pulled over for something and they realize the car's stolen and they just take it from you.
Yeah, it's just so much attention, and obviously like these guys, if they're stealing it, they're not driving the speed limit, they're not doing stuff legally. So for the most part, like you said, they're most likely getting pulled over.
Of course.
So what's your fleet looking like now for the audience in case they want to rent?
Of course. So me personally, I have 3 cars right now. I downsized a little bit just because of you know. I have an 812 Superfast. I have a Lamborghini Huracan Evo Spider, Lamborghini Huracan Performante, and then I have investor cars. I have like a Rolls-Royce Cullinan, Rolls-Royce Wraith, McLaren Artura. I have a bunch of stuff I get, Urises, that I sub from other people. But
what's your favorite to drive?
Ferrari 812 Superfast.
812 Superfast?
100%.
How come?
Well, I have it straight piped and Gintani tuned.
Oh, so it's just like
roaring
like, through the street.
Yeah, man. It has like 920 horsepower, so it's like it's definitely most fun to drive.
Is that all-wheel drive or rear wheel? Yeah, so I could only imagine the back end opening up. Yeah. That's insane, man. So where do you find this motivation to keep going in the business? Like you said, the economy is hard now, and it's not the easiest to stay in the business. So where do you find to keep going?
I mean, like, I just never quit anything before, so, like... If I could keep fighting, I'm going to keep fighting, bro.
Where do you think that attitude comes from? Is it, like, instilled from your parents early on or just, like...
I would say, I think mostly because, listen, like I said, growing up, my parents gave me everything I needed. You know, there was never nothing they didn't give me, but, like, to get more, like, to get to that next level, like, they weren't going to... If they could, they would, but they didn't have the means to give me that kind of stuff.
Yeah, so you just had a hustler mindset, and you're like, let me go after it and get it.
Yeah, man, yeah.
Where do you see the business going in like the next 5-10 years?
I'll be honest with you. I see it. I kind of see it becoming like more and more obsolete.
How come?
Because number one, you got every week there's like a new person that pops up doing it.
Yeah.
People run the market into the ground. Number two. Cars, like exotic cars, are becoming a lot more accessible, like to purchase for more people.
Yeah.
Like more and more people have these cars now. Like it's not like 2004, 2005. You would see like a Gallardo and it was like, or a 360 Spider, and you were like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Now it's like you see a Urus, like all right, it's a Urus. I live on Staten Island on the South Shore. Everybody has a Urus. It's like women. You see like 3 of them at Starbucks.
Yeah.
You know, even like Huracans. Like the Huracan's a great car, but it's like, dude, it's dime a dozen now.
Definitely.
McLarens, like you could lease a McLaren for like $2,000 a month. A McLaren Artura. I mean, they're great deals, but I'm like these cars have been they're becoming so accessible to so many more people. And not only that, from a financial standpoint, all these new cars that are coming out are becoming so expensive that it doesn't make sense for us to buy and rent out because, like, what we would charge for them, the ROI just won't make sense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Now that you say that, that's insane because you're taking a big risk. Like you said, you go into a new car looking to expand the business.
Yeah.
And then you have a ROI that's pretty much breaking even, just paying the bills.
Like, for instance, like, I would, like, for example, like, the new Lamborghini Temerario, that's the Huracan. Because the Huracan, for me, has done, for the past 5 years, Huracans have been, like, the best performing rental car.
Yeah.
And I was always able to get them in like the 200 to like maybe like the most expensive Huracan I ever bought was my Blue Spider. I paid like $295 at the time for it, but I bought it at the height of the market. But the ROI still makes sense.
Yeah.
The new Temerario starts at like $357,000. By the time you option it out decently with tax, you're out the door at like $400,000.
Holy.
A $400,000 car, for it to make sense financially to rent out, you need to be making a minimum of like $200 to $2,200 a day. Nobody's paying that to rent cars. Like, you'll probably get $1,500-$1,600 max, and then like when you factor in depreciation, the interest expenses, this, that on the third, like on a car like that, it's not gonna make sense.
Yeah. What's the maintenance like on these cars?
They're not that bad.
Yeah.
They're not bad. All these new supercars are kind of idiot proof. As long as they don't break, like you have to worry about them breaking more than anything, but they don't even break. Like Huracans are bulletproof. Huracans are like a Honda Accord reliability. I've never had a catastrophic failure on a Huracan. As long as you change your oil, you do your spark plugs, you do your regular scheduled maintenance. Maintenance is not bad. It's really not a big problem.
What have you had like any major issues with any of the cars?
Well, I had my 812 Superfast. I had to replace the engine once.
What?
Yeah, I did, but I'm not gonna obviously say the name of the dealership because it's pending litigation. But I took it to a dealership, a Ferrari dealership. Mm-hmm. Anybody watching is gonna know what Ferrari dealership it is anyway. I took it to a Ferrari dealership. I got the car back, and then I put like 200 miles on it. After its first oil change, it was due. After I bought it, I just bought the car like 8 months prior, and they emailed me like, "Hey, it's time for you to schedule maintenance. By the way, Ferrari gives you free maintenance, so bring the car." I was like, "All right, I'll save $1,000.
Yeah. Oh,
I don't got to take it to independent. I'll take it to Ferrari." I dropped it off to them. They did my oil change. 10 days later, my motor blew 4 rods.
What the?
At like 2 a.m. on the BQE, blew 4 rods. There was 4 holes in the engine block.
That's insane.
So when I got the car, they had the car, a bunch of twists and turns. It ended up getting denied warranty coverage. Like I said, I don't want to go into specifics. It ended up getting denied warranty coverage. I went back to the dealership. I'm like, well, you guys just changed my oil, so like you guys are responsible. They're like, no, it wasn't us. They're gonna pass the buck to me.
Yeah. How'd you feel in that moment? Because me personally, I'd be
oh my
pissed
god, I was ready
to.
So when I got that phone call, I was at Sloan Kettering Memorial Center because my dad had thyroid cancer, and he just had his thyroid removed.
Wow.
So he's upstairs. My mom's in the waiting room. She's freaking out. Mm-hmm. And I get the phone call from the service advisor. The first thing she says, "Are you sitting down?" I'm like, "For what? Like, what, did my car fall off the lift? Like, what happened?" She's like, "Oh, Ferrari found out you rent cars. They don't want to pay for your warranty. This, that, and the third." And at that point, I was just like, number one, I had 2 feelings. All like outright anger,
fuming,
and like, what the fuck am I gonna do? Like, engine is $160,000.
It's the price of a car,
dude. Like, that's like 4 times the median salary in this country that I have to spend on an engine.
Yeah.
And I was like, Jesus Christ. I called my business partner, and I couldn't even talk. I was so choked up. I literally was about to cry. I haven't cried. I can't remember the last time I cried. I was like choking up so hard I was about to start crying. Between the anger and the factor of like, what the fuck am I gonna do?
Yeah.
I was like, dude, it was fucking that was an emotional time for me, bro.
I could only imagine. How's your dad doing now?
He's good. Thank you for asking.
Yeah.
He's great. Yeah. He's good.
That's like...
But I got through it. Thank God. I got through it. Mm-hmm. But that comes back to just my back was against the wall, and I did what I had to do. I got through it, thankfully. I got the car fixed, and now it's just going through the court system for me to recoup my money. But dude, that was like a kick. You want to talk about a fucking kick in the balls, man? Like, immediate $160,000 negative, just engine replacement, not to mention the lost revenue, the diminution of value. So many other factors, bro. Mm-hmm. And like, not even just the money, like mentally that takes such a toll on you that it takes you away from doing other things.
Yeah.
Like that's worse than the financial hardship, because you could come back from any financial hardship. Mm-hmm. Anybody can, as long as you got a clean name. But like the mental, coming back from that mentally in that moment, and it was like weeks, months of that shit every day of me like, what the fuck am I gonna do, bro? every day. And it's like, eventually, but you think in the moment, you're like, dude, I'm never going to get through this. Like, this is the end of me. This is not the end of me. This is the end of my fucking business. Like, this is where it ends, bro. I'm going to just have to figure something out. But then, like, you know, one thing leads to another, and you find a way to fucking get through it.
Would you recommend anybody starting a car rental business?
I'll be honest with you, no. And I'm not saying that just because, bless you.
Thank you.
And I'm not saying that just because, like, I don't want to see people, like, become my competitors, but, like, long term, the ROI, and especially, like, the mental taxing that you take.
I was just about to say, because just listening to these stories, like,
dude, it's so many
I don't know if
better
I
things.
could have survived that. If I had a $160,000 bill, like you
Bro.
said, on top of that, you're losing the revenue of it being out. You're losing on depreciation.
And that car was down for like a year and a half. I didn't have that money sitting around.
Holy.
That car was in. I was paying every month for it too. I was paying with insurance like $6,000 a month for a year and a half. Not making money off that car. And this was dead of winter that this happened, bro. This happened in like November of that year. I went into like I was going into the worst time for the business. You know?
Yeah. I can't even imagine that. Like I said, my heart wouldn't be able to take it. Like that's why I had to ask if you recommended for anybody else.
Yeah, man. I mean, listen, can it be profitable? Yes, but I have so many kids that like text my business line or call me for advice, like, cause you got you got so many people selling courses on how you could be successful in the business. Like, the thing I don't agree with on that, is that, bro, like, what I think these guys are doing. They don't really care about creating competition for themselves because they know the success rate is so low.
Yeah.
They know most guys get washed out 6 months into the business. They know the first thing that happens, people run for the exit. So they know, they're like, all right, I'll sell this guy a course for $5-10 grand. I'll sell him mentorship. He'll be out in 6 months. In 6 months, he'll be out of the business. I got his $5-10 grand.
Yeah.
You know, otherwise, like, if it was that great, who's gonna constantly be creating new competition for themselves in a business?
It just doesn't make sense.
It makes zero sense, bro.
How do you feel about people who sell courses? Because I know a few people. I'm like half and half. Because I've taken a few courses, and actually, Sonny actually sent me his course, and I loved his course. Like, I was looking at it. He has like he helps out on video editing. He spoke about it on our podcast. But his course was really well. But I've also seen a lot of shit courses. You know what I mean?
I will say, listen, there is a lot of guys. This is not for everybody. There's a lot of guys on Instagram that bring a lot of value to their people that they mentor. There's a ton. I can name a ton of guys that I see on Instagram. Like, God, this guy brings value, you know, and the kind of value this guy brings is worth paying for.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not going to like shut it down completely. There's plenty of guys out there I think bring a ton of value through their mentorships and things like that. You know, but like on the other side of that, you got a lot of guys that are just selling wet dreams to little kids.
Yeah.
You know,
I think people have to look out for like when people are using materialistic things to push
100%.
their course. Like, you see my Lambo in the back? You want to get like me?
Yeah, bro. I think that's like the worst thing for younger kids to chase, because it's like eventually it gets old when you have it. It's like, whatever.
What would be your advice to younger kids? Like, if they want to become entrepreneurs, what would you tell them to do in life? Like, just work hard? What would it be?
It's different. It's a different journey for everybody, bro. Because like I feel like most guys, a lot of guys today that are rich are like born into businesses. They've gotten businesses from like family, and there's nothing wrong with that. I have plenty of friends that are like super cool kids, like my age, that are rich, but like, dude, they were born into enterprises. Like, and like the stupidest things, like plastic companies, like the most ridiculous things you wouldn't think of, but they make the most money.
Yeah.
You know, just because like somebody in their bloodline years ago had the foresight to say, okay, I'm going to fucking sell the paper that straws come in, and I'm going to make billions of fucking dollars doing it.
Insane.
I feel like for younger kids, dude, it's tough, man. You really got to, but if you're not going like a career-based, like you're not going to become like a doctor or a lawyer, because obviously there's money in that. I feel like they got to just find like businesses that are scalable and things that make sense. And just put their all into that. I think that's the best thing.
What's your what's your view on being an entrepreneur? Because I feel like if you're a young kid, or even if, let's say you're 30, 40, 50 and you want to start a business, they don't understand how difficult it actually can be.
Dude,
You know, the trials and tribulations one has to go through.
It's like 95% lows, 5% highs, bro.
Yeah.
Like, that's the truth. You're spending more time, like, down than you are up.
Mm-hmm. That's insane.
That's really what it comes down to. And it's like, you got to be okay with that. And it's not even like a money thing. It's not. Listen, there's gonna be times when shit runs dry and you're down to, you're hemorrhaging. Like, it happens to every business, bro. I don't care who you are. There's gonna be times you're like, oh fuck, you know. But it's more of like the mental aspect of it, bro. You know what I mean? Like,
do you do anything to like help your mental side? Because I know some people journal, some people go on runs. Yeah.
I go to the gym. Just go for walks. That's really it, dude. But a lot of times what helps me the most, bro, when I'm like, dude, what the fuck, is just laying down and just trying to just clear my head and, like, not doing nothing crazy. Sometimes that's the best thing, bro.
Yeah.
Just a good night's sleep. Yeah.
It was funny. I was talking to my buddies about it because I've barely been sleeping recently. I'm all over the place. Sometimes I'll get 3-4 hours. I'm more of a nap guy now because whenever I got some time, I'll fall asleep. And it's like we forget how like vital sleep is to our lives.
Dude,
you know what I mean?
It.
Especially being an entrepreneur. Yeah. How often do you get a good night of sleep?
I get a good night of sleep every night, dude.
That's amazing.
I need to get 8-9 hours. Like, guys are like, oh, 4 hours of sleep. I mean, listen, that might work for them. That won't work for me.
No.
Unless I was out, unless the reason I'm only getting 4 hours of sleep is because I was so busy the day before that I went to bed at 3 a.m. Making money, like doing whatever, rentals. For some reason, I was out till 3 a.m. renting cars. That's why I got 4 hours of sleep. That's fine. But like a regular day, like, dude, I need my 8 hours. I need to be on point. I don't want to be groggy. I don't want to be like anxious. I don't want to be cranky. You know?
You should have seen me this morning. I went to sleep at like 5, finishing up editing an episode, and then I got a call at like 6:30. My mom wanted me to take her somewhere, and then my dad, and then I'm running around early in the morning, and I was just so cranky, and I hate feeling like that because I know that's not the regular, like how I am regularly.
Yeah,
you know
no,
what I mean?
Man. It's me too. I'm usually a morning person. Like, I'm not like a cranky morning person. You know, I'm usually good in the morning. As long as I have my coffee, I'm good. Like,
yeah, big coffee guy.
Dude, like 4 cups a day, bro.
No way.
I think I've become immune to caffeine at this point.
Yeah, definitely taking that much. You got to take it easy, man. What's your go-to coffee?
Honestly, like in the morning before 12 p.m., I just drink black coffee with like 2 Splendas in it. Then if I have a coffee after 12 p.m., I'll put like protein powder and like fat-free milk.
Yeah.
Because I don't eat till 12 p.m. every day. That's just how I've been. I've been doing that, and it feels good. Kind of like intermittent fasting. Because I just like to give my body a chance to just process whatever has been in it.
And you found out that like helps you a ton.
It does, yeah. Especially from like an energy point of view. You know, and you become way less hungry. Like, I track my calories, and like there's days when like I'm full and I only have like 1,800 calories for the day, and it's just like because your body's just getting that nourishment.
Yeah. From
just not constantly having shit shoveled into it. You know what I mean? Every hour.
I definitely got to try that out.
Yeah, it's good, man.
I wanted to ask too, where sorry, I'm like all over the place. Good, I told you I barely got sleep, so my head's all over the place. What's been like the coolest experience since starting your company?
The coolest experience? I would say like working, like getting the chance to work with some like bigger celebrities is pretty cool. And like meeting them and just seeing them in real life, that's cool. And now it's like whatever, like I don't care anymore. But like when you first start, it's cool. Like when you get that first video shoot, and it's like, oh my god, like you pull up, you don't even know who it is because like a management company calls you. Yeah. Because like the big artists, like when they're doing video shoots, they don't call you. Like no. If Drake needs a video, well, not that I've worked with him, but like if Drake is shooting a video, he's not gonna call your line like, hey, it's Drake, I need a car for 3 hours. Like you're gonna get like a phone call from like his representatives, from the producer or like whoever's managing the video shoot, and they're not even gonna tell you who it is. You're not gonna find out who it is till you get there. So like I guess just getting there and then like seeing them perform in person, and like you're just sitting there watching them is pretty cool.
Yeah, does that add any motivation? Because I feel like I could only speak for myself on this, but when you get that feeling of like you see a person all your life, they're famous, and then you get to see them in real life. It's like, holy smokes, this is a real life person. They're just like me, skin,
dude,
blood, water. Like,
bro,
how motivating is that?
It's pretty cool, bro, because it's like, and then most of them are cool. Like, most of them are down to earth people. They're very respectful. I've never really worked with like any celebrities that were like dickheads.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it comes down to you being there and conducting yourself as a professional as well. Because it's like, when you're there getting paid. You're not there as a fan. When you're respectful to them and you're like, hey, I'm nice to meet you, XYZ, and you're not like, they respect that. They're like, oh, finally, somebody's not fucking kissing my ass. Like, and then you're there working. Like, you're there getting paid. You're not, they're going to be like, dude, get this fucking fan out of here. But like, this is not a concert. You know what I mean? So it's like, you just got to be respectful of them too.
Yeah.
You know? Because at the end of the day, bro, like, they're constantly like getting their asses kissed, bro. I could promise you they get sick of it. You know?
I can't even imagine that, because when I first started, like, it's intimidating. I still get nervous on all my podcasts. Even right now, in the beginning, I'm nervous. It's just like, probably I would say 30 minutes into every episode is when I let the nerves go and I just let the conversation flow. But it's cool because, like, that was one of the things I noticed right away. Once I started getting bigger guests, I would say, I was like, dude, genuine people. They're just down to earth, genuine, nice people. And like you said, bro, this is business. For us, it's our livelihood. Like, so it just, to sit here, get down to business type of thing.
Yeah, man, that's it.
Sorry, I'm all over
it's
the
all
place.
good, bro.
My brain is fried. I
No
got
worries,
no
man.
sleep last night.
Yeah.
But, oh my goodness. Alex Salaba, how did you meet him?
Alex? So, Alex is such a good dude. He actually got my number from my Google listing and he hit me up. So Alex rents cars, but he does like the lower end, like the economy cars. He does very well with it.
The rental car king. He has like certain price range of cars. He doesn't
he does very well with it, bro. And honestly, I think his business model makes a lot more sense than mine. But that's a whole other conversation. He hit me up. He's like, hey, bro, like I see you do this, and like I wanted to get into renting exotics. And I told him, I'm like, dude, like, from what you're doing now, like, you're going to just lose ROI. Yeah. I gave him, like, some advice, and then I guess he considered it, and he realized, like, it wasn't worth it for him. And he could easily do it. Like, obviously, he could buy whatever. He could buy any car and rent it out. But I guess he realized it from, like, an ROI standpoint. It didn't really make sense. And then me and him became good friends, and he hits me up. We bounce ideas off each other. You know, we have productive things we say to each other. You know, we still speak. Like here and there.
That's cool. Are you looking to expand into any other business outside of car rentals?
That's tough, dude. Honestly, no. I just wanna. I wouldn't. I would just try to make enough money to just keep my business going, not really scale it, but just keep the business sustaining, like my current income level of whatever I'm making. Without creating more headaches for myself, and then just, you know, save my money and invest it in maybe in like stocks or real estate or something like that. But like, I wouldn't really want to start another business from scratch, bro. Like,
how come?
Well, number one, it takes years. When you're going into a new venture, contrary to what most people say on Instagram, it takes years. When you're going into a new business that you don't know anything about and you're trying to learn the ropes, it takes years for you to find your footing. It takes a long time. And it's like you burn a lot of money in the beginning. Like you're playing catch up for like the first 4 to 5 years. Learning, not paying yourself. So to me, I feel like I can make other money, you know, investing my money or doing other things. I can make more money than just dumping something into a new business venture and trying to, you know, start from scratch in an industry I know nothing about.
I actually love that you said that because, like you said, on Instagram, on social media,
bro,
make money quick. Like, that's all you see nowadays. But I don't think unless you actually own a business, you understand that it's going to take years of grind.
Dude, like, the real wealth is, like, generational wealth is gained over decades, bro. Yeah. You're telling, like, just for instance, you're telling me everybody in Miami has a exotic car. Everybody in Miami wears a $100,000 watch. Everybody in Miami has a fucking penthouse in Brickell.
Yeah, right.
Overlooking the water. and downtown Miami in the Cassia Center. You're telling me everybody in Miami can spend $10,000 a night on dinner? Every person in Miami could do that. Every person in Miami, come on, bro.
Yeah.
Like,
it just makes no sense. Like you said.
0 cents, dude.
Actually, it's funny that people even believe it. Like, because the thing is, I feel like they're targeting young kids.
They are, dude. They're just targeting the people that believe in the concept of instant gratification. Mm-hmm. And, like, dude, instant gratification is not, in business and when it comes to building, like, sustainable, it's not real, bro. There's no such thing as instant gratification in business. Unless, like, you just happen to be the guy who bought one fucking Bitcoin 15 years ago and you lost your hard drive and then you found it in 2025 and now it's worth, or you bought 10 of them and now it's worth whatever it's worth. I don't know, like $1 million.
Yeah.
That's instant. That's not even instant gratification. It still took you like fucking 12 years, bro.
For sure.
But you didn't do anything for those 12 years. You just had a hard drive. You lost it. But, like, dude, like, that doesn't exist. Like,
I was actually just talking about this with my last guest. Like, when you make quick money like that and, like, just easy money,
it goes right back out, bro.
That's the key, right? Like,
it goes right back out. Like, because that's why, like, people always, like, talk about, like, people that are wealthy and, like, oh, he's so cheap, he's this, he's that. Dude, because at one point, that guy was probably made a lot of money, lost it all, made it back, and he's like, I'm not going to be a fucking asshole again. I'm going to keep my money.
Yeah.
That's what it comes down to. And then it's like, you get to a point where it's like, you just don't care about material shit, bro. You don't need a fucking diamond chain. You don't need the biggest fucking penthouse. You don't need, you know, to spend $5,000 a night on. You don't need that shit. Like, you don't care about it. It's just like, you're just doing the business because you enjoy it. You like doing what you do, and like you like taking care of your clients.
Yeah.
You know, it's not about fucking having more than this guy, having more than that guy. I feel like that's just a dream that's sold by these idiots. You know what I mean? And it's sold to little kids, and then it's fucked up for the little kids because then, bro, you say you're like a 21-year-old kid, 22-year-old kid. Listen, a 21, 22-year-old kid, it's okay if you don't have your shit together, bro. You're still a fucking baby. Like, when I was 21, 22, I was starting my first job on Wall Street. I was a fucking I was a little shit, dude. I was getting coffees. I was picking up fucking dry cleaning. I was still in college. Yeah. I had, like, nothing. Not $1 to my name. My dad was still paying for my fucking car because I had nothing. Like, if you're thank God Instagram didn't exist back then, bro, because I would have felt like the biggest piece of shit. Yeah. But, like, now you on Instagram, a 21-year-old kid, oh, I have this Ferrari, I have this Lambo, I have this, I have that. Like, dude, maybe some of them do, but, like, that's not reality. Like, if you're not at that level at 21, 22, that's okay. Like, it's not that big. Like, you're going to get there eventually. Like, it's okay if you don't have it figured out at 21, 22, bro. As long as you're working towards something, like, because I guarantee, like, 99% of those kids are full of shit.
Yeah.
And, like, how many times do those kids, like, a year later, they come out all SEC indictment, FBI indictment for fucking scamming.
For
or
real.
doing some dumb shit.
That's not the part that everybody hears, right?
Exactly.
I'm glad you said that because it's honest. I mean, I was that 21-year-old kid thinking the same thing. Like, I was going in school and then I'm, like, looking online. I see all these guys making thousands of dollars a day, or at least what it looks like, you know what I mean? Driving in Miami, driving in Brickell, penthouse. And I'm like, I feel like shit. I'm like, why don't I have that? You know what I mean?
No,
like,
it's fucked up, dude.
Comparing myself to these other guys. But then I came to the realization almost years later, like I'm 26 now, you know what I mean? And I'm still coming to the realization, like, it's okay to not have everything figured out.
There's guys that fucking don't have shit figured out till 40. 50, but not 50, but I'm saying, like, bro, like, the average millionaire, I think, doesn't become a millionaire until, like, 38 years old.
That's insane. If people just realize that,
like, dude, that's, like, that's how long it takes to build, like, a sustainable living and sustainable wealth. It takes years, bro. It's not instant. It's not gonna happen like this, bro. You're not gonna find the fucking product, start selling on Amazon, and have an SVJ in a month. It's not gonna happen. You know what I mean?
It's refreshing to hear somebody actually say it because, like,
man, it's the truth though, and it's fucked up like that. Like, the fucking idea of instant gratification just constantly gets nailed into people's brains, and it's like the little kids are more susceptible to, and it's fucked up, dude. You know? Yeah,
because you have, like, let's say these young men out there just watching this,
and
shit
they're all super
day.
Impressionable.
Hell yeah, you know, they don't know any better, just like anybody else. Like, at that age, like, you're still developing. People think 100%. Like
you're not fully, your brain's not fully developed until, like, what, 25, 26?
Yeah, 25, 26.
Exactly.
So, like, especially I I find that in this time that we're in, just because of everything in life, like when we were kids, our parents at 18, 19, 20 were married. We're looking for a house, and things are changing. You know what I mean? People are 25, 26.
That's not reality anymore, bro.
Heck no. So it's like, I feel like people are developing slower in a sense, and it sucks because I see a lot of people getting stuck, and like that's one of the reasons I started this podcast, because I just wanted to bring on entrepreneurs to help people realize like there's real life struggles and there's real life people who are doing it, you know what I mean? And all those things you're thinking in your head, like, shit, I haven't made it yet, I'm never gonna make it because I haven't made it, I'm only 21, 22, whatever age you are, like you can pick up and go after it, you know?
Man. Dude, it's man, that's why it's like every time I see shit like excuse me, I have a sip of this.
Yeah, no worries.
Maybe I'll dub my face in some later.
And maybe use the banana peel too.
Maybe. Yeah, man, but dude, it's like, yeah, it's fucked up. And that's like, I have so many young kids, like I'll have like the young kids DM me like, oh, I want to get into the rental business. And bro, like if I was really a piece of shit, I'd be like, yeah, bro, give me $6,000 and I'll teach you how to do it. And they would do it. They'd fucking scrounge $6,000 together and do it.
Yeah.
You know, but these guys, like, they prey on these young kids because they know, like, yo, this kid will fucking listen to whatever I tell him. He'll pay because they understand these kids are chasing that instant gratification. But, bro, takes time.
It's sickening, man.
Yeah, man.
Honestly, it hurts my stomach. That's why, like, I've enjoyed everybody I've had on as a guest. And, like, everyone really adds value, which is really cool to see. Because that's one thing I want to do. I was talking to my buddy about it the other day. And I'm like, because somebody was telling me, like, somebody actually contacted me and was like, yo, let's collab. Like, I could bring a bunch of girls in your studio. I'm like, dude, you don't think I can't do that if I wanted to do that? Like, you don't think I know, like, I'm a 6'3" Dominican Latin guy, you know what I mean? I could bring a bunch of girls in here if that's what I wanted to show.
100%.
But, like, for my audience, that's not what I want to show. I want to be here to motivate you guys to go do something. Like,
of course, bro.
The girls, the money, all that, it's like, I don't know. It doesn't
mean
anything.
Bro.
Let me step away 1 second, just take a piss. Yeah, so I have the bladder of like a toddler. I don't think.
Dude, when you drink electrolytes, fucking puts that shit on steroids, bro.
I literally, there has not been one episode where I haven't had to step away and use the bathroom. I can't sit here.
I might be stepping away soon, honestly.
Yeah, you let me know.
Yes, sir.
But it's like I said, this conversation has been just refreshing because I think it's gonna be really cool for the people to hear like, this is a full-fledged business you have, you know what I mean? Like, and you're a real person, a genuine person who has daily struggles. Like you said, 95% of the time you're struggling and it's not easy and you're working your tail off and your head's bouncing wall to wall just trying to figure out situations. And that's not something you hear every day on social media.
It's not. Like, because, dude, at the end of the day, that doesn't sell.
Yeah.
The idea of struggle doesn't sell. Nobody wants to fucking struggle. But that's the you know, the co-requisite of fucking running a business and doing things on your own is struggles, bro. Like, you're gonna struggle every day. Every high you have is gonna be followed by a fucking immediate low, for some reason. Whether it's financial, a financial hiccup that happens, or something that, you know, some bullshit you gotta deal with. There's always gonna be something, bro.
What's the important part? I want to go a little bit deeper into that because I was talking to my friends about this the other day. And I think I might have even been talking to my brother about it because, like, I've struggled too in life, you know what I mean? But I never want to talk about it on my podcast, and I'm hesitant about it because, like you said, people don't want to hear that shit. People don't care, you know what I mean? They only want to see the good. And it's like, to the people who are struggling, what would you say to them?
That, dude, just keep your head up and just fucking keep fighting every day. And as long as you do that, you'll be fine. It's part of life. Everybody goes through it. Especially
as a man, because I feel like the way I see it, men are always told to, like, be strong. Like, you pretty much can't struggle. Like, if you're not at the top, if you're not 21 in Brickell in Miami and you're not at the best, bullshit, like, you're doing terrible.
Stop comparing yourself to other people. Just compare yourself to yourself. If you're better than you were yesterday, that's all that matters.
How important is that?
It's very important. You know, it's just, dude, you're never going to be the richest guy. You're never going to be the best looking guy. You're never going to be the most jacked guy. You're never going to be the tallest guy. You're never going to be you know, there's always going to be somebody that's better than you in some kind of category. Yeah. So just do what you got to do it for yourself and enjoy it.
Like,
you know?
I don't think people understand the importance of those daily wins.
Yeah,
Like,
bro. The
if
small
you're-
wins add up.
Add up insane amount,
bro.
You know what I mean? Like, you really see it, especially, you said it, businesses, like great businesses, wealth are built over years. And those years are daily wins. Because even now, I got the chance to interview Julian Dory, and he's about to hit 1 million subscribers on YouTube.
Nice.
And he runs his own podcast as well. But one of the craziest things that people don't know is, like, he's been working on it for 5 years, and he's been working 7 days of the week of those 5 years.
That's what it takes.
Like, people think it's so easy. People think, like, now that they see him at the top, like, this guy's got to have 1,000 editors working for him, or that. Like, the guy is about to have 1 million subscribers, you know what I mean? And still 7 days a week just straight grinding. And I'm like, dude, when I got the chance to interview him, I was like, I spoke about this too the other day. His execution level is insane. I was like, I need to step it up, and that's it. Bottom line, like, no excuses. That's one thing I think people need to hear. They can't give themselves excuses.
No, definitely not. And, like, the biggest thing is, like, what got you to where you are is going to keep you where you are. So whatever intensity you had, like, when you first started and you get a little bit of success, honestly, I think you should go even harder. And your intensity should increase. Like, you should never let your foot off the gas. You know, because, like, as much as, you know, I'm losing my train of thought here. But, like, as much as it's getting to where you want to be is good, and, like, getting nice things and everything is cool, you got to realize, like, all right, like, I went through a lot of shit to get here. I don't want to give it back. So, like, I really got to fucking keep my foot on the throttle.
How important is loving the journey? Like,
that's the most important part, dude.
How come?
Because, like, I look back, like, when I first started, and, like, even my shittiest experience, besides that one that we spoke about, but even my shittiest experiences in a business, I look back at it, I'm like, dude, that shit sucked, but, like, bro, I laugh at some of the shit that I went through in the past, bro. Like, I'll never forget, like, this was in 2019, and this was so stupid, bro. It was, like, you obviously know what chargebacks are, right? When people buy stuff with credit cards and return it.
Yeah.
So, me and my business partner were eating. We were having, like, lunch somewhere because we were about to take a car to a video shoot in Jersey. Me and him were sitting eating, and then, like, I got, like, an email for, like, a $2,000 chargeback. And at the time, bro, it was, like, the fucking end of the world to me. That was, like, the first real hurdle I hit. I was like, no, a fucking $2,500 chargeback. What the fuck am I going to do? Oh, my God. And I look back, and I'm like, that was fucking funny. We laugh at it. Yo, dude, remember that time we got charged back $2,000? We were sitting eating lunch and got charged back $2,000, and we fucking were crying about it.
That's so hilarious because, like, in the moment, it's the end of the world for you.
Dude, yeah, and then you look back, you laugh at it.
Like, you wish when you struggle and, like, have hard times, it was as easy as that, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Because now your problems, like, as you build your business, do your problems just grow as well?
100%. When you're looking down the barrel of, like, $160,000 loss, you're like, fuck, dude, I really miss having a $2,000 loss, bro.
Right?
Shit,
When you
I would
compare
just
it
sell
like
that right now, bro.
Holy smokes.
But, I mean, I'll be honest with you. Sometimes I'm getting to the point now where I can even look back at that situation and be like, yo, dude, remember that fucking, when that dickhead put too much oil in my fucking engine and blew it up? And kind of laugh about it, you know, because I've gotten past it. But at the time, it's like, bro, this is the end. Like,
you said it. How long was it out for again? A year and some
months? Like a year
and,
I want to say, dude, it was almost 2 years. I think it was like a year and 18 months.
2 years of dealing with that.
Almost 2 years, bro, that the car was down.
How much was the car itself worth? How much did you buy the car worth?
I bought the car for $372,000.
And then the engine was $160,000.
Yeah, that's how those cars are, bro. The engine costs. Well, that's with labor and shit.
Yeah.
But dude, like, so for that car, a long block, just a short block. With the short block is pretty much just the block. The cylinders, nothing, none of the no intake manifold, no plugs, nothing. Just the fucking bare block. The bare block alone for that car is like $75,000.
Oh.
$75,000. Then you need new intake manifolds. You need all the fucking trimmings. You need every piece of pipe. And this is fucking Ferrari, dude.
Yeah.
Like, that shit is expensive, bro.
And then
like,
to ship it over here,
yeah,
too.
like a 50-cent screw at fucking Home Depot, go to a Ferrari dealership, it's like $60. And you could get the fucking same screw at Home Depot. That holds your bumper in.
But just because of the name Ferrari.
Yeah, exactly. So, and obviously with Ferraris especially, you only want to use factory parts. Like,
Yeah.
I don't ever use, well, most of my cars, I really don't use on non-factory parts. Like, if I'm not going to use a factory part, I'll find who the OEM factory provider is.
Mm-hmm.
Like for Porsche and like Lamborghini, Bosch makes their spark plugs. So if
Yeah.
I don't want to spend hundreds of dollars at Lamborghini, I'll get Bosch plugs because they're the same shit because Bosch supplies them. You know, but with Ferrari, it's fucking Ferrari or nothing. It's not it's Ferrari or nothing. Like, you have to get the genuine Ferrari part. It has to come in that bag that says genuine Ferrari. You need that shit.
So what that makes me think of is like, I want to highlight, cutting corners doesn't really exist.
Dude, it bites you in the ass and costs you 5 times more than you saved.
Mm-hmm. Like, can you explain that? Because it's not only cutting corners in like Ferraris, but in your business. Because you know, if like you wanted to cut corners in other ways.
Dude, cutting corners is, especially in my business, the slightest corner cut could cost you your whole business. Oh. Getting an insurance, you know how many times I've gotten insurance cards and I look at it, I'm like, oh, this looks good. But I always call to verify. I'll call to verify, like, yeah, this policy lapsed yesterday. Guy didn't make his payment. Oh, this guy only has he doesn't have comp and collision because he didn't do his fucking vehicle inspection. You know, like New Jersey has. Yeah. He didn't do his photo inspection. He has no comp and collision. You just get that because you assume the guy has a brand new car. He has comp and collision. Then you fucking you call in. He doesn't have it because he didn't do his fucking photo inspection, bro. But that 5-minute corner cut, it takes 5 minutes to call verify insurance. That fucking 5-minute corner cut could cost you a whole car.
Yeah, and you just said it, Ferrari $370.
Yeah. And then good luck suing the guy. Like, dude, I don't care how rich these customers are. Nobody has that money laying around.
No.
You know? Good luck suing an individual for that and getting your money.
Yeah. Even half the time, you probably had to deal with it. Getting the money from the insurance is the hardest part, too, you know?
It depends. Sometimes it's tough. Sometimes it's not. But I'd rather deal with an insurance company and sue an insurance company than sue an individual. Because at the end of the day, if an insurance company loses, 99% of the time they settle because they're just insurance companies are just dickheads. They just drag shit out, bro. That's all they do. Delay, deny, defend, dude. That's the fucking 3 Ds. You know, delay, deny, defend. But like eventually, insurance companies they just drag it along. They'd rather pay less. They'd rather pay more in the future than pay you now.
Yeah.
You push. They're like, all right, fuck it, dude. Here you go. If they lose, they'll pay you. People, individuals, you can't do that with. You can't do that with people, bro.
Yeah, just the importance of due diligence, making sure everything's right.
100%, man. That's all it comes down to. Protecting yourself and, like, you know, just don't ever... It's not worth it cutting corners in any aspect of life, bro.
Yeah. How important... Actually, did you always know so much about cars? Because you're explaining to me, like, small block engines, different parts. Yeah.
I mean, I've gotten, like, more, like, mechanically inclined to how cars work as of recent. But I've always been like, I loved cars. I could tell you how much horsepower a car had or like how many cylinders it had, like basic stuff like that. But like as far as like the mechanical inclination of cars, I still don't have it 100%, bro. Like there's times like I'll be speaking to like a mechanic friend and it's fucking gibberish to me.
Yeah.
Like I'm not there yet, but I've become more mechanically inclined and like from that aspect of cars, I've gotten that over time. You know.
Just from learning.
Well, well, listen, my cars don't break that much, but like, dude, when fucking shit breaks, or like a customer does something to a car and you think it's like a warranted item, and then you take it to a dealership, and the dealership's like, no, dude, this is not under warranty. This person did XYZ to the car. That's why it's fucking broken. After that many times, eventually you learn about things and how like the operation of certain parts goes.
What's the craziest thing you've had to deal with where something wasn't under warranty and that was your first time finding out, like, oh, the customer pushed it too hard, the customer was drifting, something like that?
So surprisingly, I've never had a client cause a catastrophic mechanical failure to any of my cars.
Amazing.
Knock on wood. A little piece of wood here. I've never had that happen, thank God. You know, I've had accidents, but insurance covers that. But I've never had like somebody like doing fucking donuts and blow a rear diff. Or blow a tranny, or blow a fucking engine. I've never had that happen. Thank God.
Wow.
You know, but that also comes from not cutting corners and fucking screening people. If a 19-year-old kid comes up and wants to rent a 900 horsepower Ferrari, it's pretty fucking obvious what he wants to do with it.
Yeah.
You know?
And for the most part, like, kids just don't know how to drive.
They
like,
don't,
you're
dude.
19.
Oh my God. Even 21, dude, 21, 22, they're just, bro. Like you said, your brain's not fully developed yet. You don't really understand the consequences of certain actions.
Yeah.
And you have more of like a fucking fuck it attitude, and you're more reckless. So like that's why insurance premiums don't drop till you're 25.
Yeah. And
it's the same shit with renting cars, bro.
When I was younger, I used to think like, damn, why is my insurance so high? This or that. And like, now that I'm a little bit older, 26, even though it's not much of a difference age-wise from 21, 22, 23, I could tell you there's a huge difference on how I act on the road.
Of course, bro.
I'm a freaking grandpa now on the road. I drive, if anything, 5 miles below the speed limit or the speed limit. That's it. Like,
honestly, I've gotten to the point where sometimes I use fucking cruise control, bro.
Yeah.
I'm like, what's 65? 70. Just put me there. I'm good. I'll get in the fucking middle lane or the right lane so people passing. But if I'm like on a long drive, I'm like, dude, 65, 70, especially if I'm in like some random fucking state I don't want to get pulled over in.
Yeah.
And deal with those kind of, like, dude, you know.
Because that's another thing. Like, when I was younger, I have a Dodge Charger Daytona.
Nice.
So I used to be flying, cutting up with my friends and stuff, and then like I've seen the dangers of it. Obviously, like, bro, that's one thing a lot of people don't understand. When you're young, if you've never seen a car accident, you don't understand that even a 40-mile-per-hour car accident
it's brutal, bro. That's a lot of fucking velocity, dude.
For just a metal, like, you're talking about thousands and thousands of pounds just coming to a stop.
Going from 40 to 0 in like in a second from blunt impact. Yeah, it's not fun, bro.
And here are these kids going 110, 80, 90,
cutting up.
Bro,
crazy,
it's
bro.
scary. It's scary. The other day was the first day I ever got, like, I got white line. They pushed me. They drove through the center. I see them coming because I'm like, I try to be very attentive while I'm driving.
Was it in Jersey?
Yeah, it was actually right on 208, right? Right around here. Yeah, I was like, what? I looked over to myself. I'm like, what the hell is going on, man?
Some crazy fucking kids out there, dude.
Yeah.
The white lining in between cars is like, that new trend is like, that's insane, bro.
It's terrible. And you see it all the time, especially on social media. That's the one thing, like, I wish they would honestly stop, because it's like, I feel so bad for them because, all right, yeah, you might have recorded 10 videos of you doing it, and those 10 videos you were okay and got home safe, but then all it takes is that next time.
But people don't factor in, like, the fact that you could be the best driver, but other people are on the road, and other people make mistakes on the road all the time.
Yes.
They don't see you. If somebody's in the right lane and you're doing 180 in the left lane, they look at you, they look in their mirror, they check their blind spot. They don't see you.
No.
Once they start merging, you're doing 180, you're hitting them. Because you're going so fast, they're not going to see you. They might not even see your fucking headlights.
Yeah. Especially 180, man. That's dead. Like, there's no chance you're getting out of that.
Yeah, there might not even be anything left of you at that point.
No. And, oh, man, that's spooky. That's why I always tell everybody, like, I told my buddies a few years back, like, especially when I slowed it down a ton, I was like, all right, I just want to be able to, like, I love cars, and I would love to be able to afford a fast car and all that, but I know, like, even if I were able to afford one and I buy one, I would only buy one if I have the money to take it to a track with my buddies, you know what I mean?
That's what you should really enjoy.
Exactly. Enjoy it on the track where you could have somebody teach you how to drive it and, like, actually have fun with it without putting other people's lives in danger, putting your life in danger.
100%.
Because that's just spooky, man. I don't get it. Of course,
man. I mean, listen, if you want to open up your car every once in a while on a public road and you want to, it's not, listen, I'm not saying, because I've done it, but, like, guys that, like, literally every day just go out there and just constantly put the public at risk for the sake of making content for social media, I think that's just ridiculous, bro.
Yeah, because it's one thing if, like, you're on the highway, beautiful day, not really many people on the road, you're in a straight line and you just want to rip it.
Yeah, exactly.
Compared to, like, cutting up, like, white line, and, like, that is just two different
bro.
things, man. What's it? I'm sorry. Just wanted to check the time.
Yeah, no worries.
I forgot what I was going to ask. Give me 1 second.
Good, bro. It's 7:45.
Beautiful. I'm so sorry. I'm usually not like this. I'm usually like back to back to
All
back
good,
to
bro.
back
No
to
worries.
back to back, but this is why I need to sleep. I cannot.
Yeah, nah, I feel you, bro. Same.
Let me see what I want to ask. Cuz I used to write a bunch of questions down and like I actually kind of like I like just free flowing it, like having a normal conversation now.
Yeah.
And I did write a bunch of questions down for you as well, and I have them here. But I just hate like looking at them and then being like,
Yeah,
just
because it
reading
comes
them
too
off.
interviewee.
Yeah, exactly. Like
Yeah.
I just want it to be free flow and have a conversation with you. But then sometimes I also get fried and stuck like this.
Yeah, 100%,
But
dude.
we talked about business, your family, future. It's just stuff, because I usually ask stuff I want to know.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
like you're really interesting as well. Because it's
Thanks,
not
bro.
every day you see somebody have a exotic car rental company do so well, and then on top of that, like know so much about the industry.
Yeah.
Is there anything you would want to tell the audience any more about the industry?
Just if you're a customer, be careful who you rent cars from. Because there's a lot of people that are like, I don't want to say scammers, but do bad business.
What would I have to look out for? What do I have to be careful for?
I mean, it's tough. If the company's not on Google, don't rent a car from them.
Yeah.
Look up their Google reviews. You know, look up their company, look up their website. The person should have some like multiple 5-star Google reviews. Because me, like when people rent from me, I think I have like 62 or 63 5-star reviews on Google.
Yeah.
So you want to see that track record. In my business, it's very important.
What are the issues that arise from that?
You'll like lose a deposit for something stupid. You know, they'll find like some stupid clause in the contract to keep a $2,000 security deposit. I don't want to say names, but like, dude, there were times, I swear to God, like this, and like again, I don't want to blow up anybody's spot, but it's so well known, bro. There was a point where there was like kids renting out strikers,
Holy.
like VIN swapped cars,
And then
renting them to the public, bro. Renting VIN swapped strikers to the public.
so what's a striker for the people listening?
A car that's been stolen. A striker is just a car that's been stolen. So stolen cars that were VIN swapped with artificial VINs, and obviously they're stolen. They have fake VINs on them. They're not legitimate cars. They weren't purchased from dealerships legitimately with titles. Like, they were stolen, taken to some fucking garage somewhere, re-VINed with fake VINs, new stickers, new fucking window plate, and given a fake title, bullshit plate on it, and now it's a rental car.
And now you're driving around, you get pulled over.
That's a felony. I mean, listen, you'll end up beating it, but still, you're going in for possession of stolen property.
And can you explain to me how scary is it? Because obviously regular people aren't getting pulled over with a VIN swapped striker.
Yeah.
So like how scary it is, because if the police pulls you over, it's not like just one cop walking up to your window. If they see it's a stolen car, they're probably calling backup. Your guns pointed at you, like.
Well, here's what happens pretty much. You get pulled over, and like in New York, like the big unit that does this is called CRT. The guys that wear the fucking tan pants you always see on TikTok.
Yeah.
Those guys I get pulled over by them too, bro. And like 4 of them approach me, and I don't do nothing wrong.
Yeah.
So like, they'll just come up to the car if they think it's suspect. All they got to do, if you have a fake VIN on your car, like an artificial VIN, because a lot of times now what they stop doing is like back in the day they would like take like an SRT, they'd find like a fucking VIN from an SRT in like California and put it on that one, and it would look legit. It's like, all right, cars. But now what they do is they make VINs from scratch but they use all the right numbers so it decodes. You could decode it as that car because all those letters and numbers in a VIN, they all mean something. And each single spot, they mean something. The year, the make, the model. So they'll make a VIN that, like, we'll say, like, for example, like a Urus. They'll get a Urus. That's a striker. It's been stolen. They'll get somebody to make a VIN that decodes to that fucking decodes to a Urus. They'll make plates they'll make stickers that look real. They'll make a VIN plate for the window. Put it on. But when a cop pulls them over, if the car is suspect, all they got to do, because now like the CRT guys have Carfax on their phone. They'll just go on Carfax, put your fucking VIN in, and they'll see 0 reports. I swear to God. They'll see 0 reports for that car's VIN. They know it's stolen. Like, no car has 0 reports on Carfax, bro.
So what does 0 reports mean?
So obviously, like when you put in a VIN through Carfax, every car has a Carfax report. The second it comes into this country, it generates a Carfax report. It's gonna have every little thing that your car does, depending where you take it, generates a Carfax report. Oil changes, maintenance, it gets sold, it gets bought, you get a lien report, or you get a loan against it, it gets titled, you get a Carfax report. So these cars, because the VINs don't exist, they're not real. Like those cars technically don't exist. That VIN doesn't exist. Carfax will decode it because Carfax has decoding into its software. It's gonna decode it 2021, 2022 years.
Yeah.
But then it's gonna say there are 0 reports for this car, and the second they see that, and the car can be registered. Like they register these cars too, bro. I swear to God, they get fake titles, they get hard plates.
That's insane.
But dude, if a cop is suspect, and these cops are like, they're privy to this shit now. Like if you get pulled over in a high end car, they're gonna do it regardless.
Yeah.
They're gonna check to make sure it's legit. Because it takes them 2 seconds to fucking pull up your Carfax, bro. They're gonna scan your VIN. That's it. They see that the driver's getting booked for possession of stolen property, the car is getting taken, and then whoever rented it to them is gonna get in trouble too.
Wow.
So, but that's going back to cutting corners. Those cars cost 30, 40 grand. The real Urus is what, 220, 250 grand. They're like, oh, I'll spend 40 grand on a fucking VIN swap, 30 grand on a VIN swap. I'll make the same amount of money until your fucking customer's getting arrested for possession of stolen property.
And then they're coming after you next.
Yeah. It's not super prevalent. It was happening for a while, but I saw it with my own 2 eyes. It's not like speculation. I literally saw this happen.
Yeah.
I've seen that practice.
Wow. Yeah, it's funny you say that because I've seen a bunch of. I just recently downloaded Facebook again, and I see like.
Oh, the no title.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm in all those, bro. I just like to see what they post. They post the craziest shit.
Yeah, and it's like also helps you because you stay up to date and see
Exactly.
pretty much all the schemy stuff they're doing and make sure like you're protecting yourself.
100%.
Who's been like the coolest celebrity you've rented a car to where you were just like, holy shit, can't believe I met them?
Like for I've done really music videos. I've never really like done like daily shoots for any of these guys. I will say like I did one time a while ago. I did a video shoot for Megan Thee Stallion. She was cool. She was all right, but she was just having a long day, so she was a little grumpy. But I met 50 Cent because the guy told me, one of the guys on the set, he's like, dude, there's somebody coming to the there's somebody coming to the set. Don't take pictures of him. Don't have your phone out around him. I was like, who the fuck is coming? You're like, the president? Like, I was like, all right, no problem. And then I'm just, where they were setting up, and I hear his fucking voice. I'm like, I know that voice. I look, it's fucking 50 Cent. He was super cool, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he was really, he's a nice guy. Like, anybody who meets him will tell you, like, dude, he's so down to earth. He's a very cool dude.
Yeah, it's funny you say that. I had a rooftop bar owner on here. He owns Lotus in Passaic.
Nice.
And he had 50 Cent come through, and that's exactly what he said.
Very down to earth dude. Like he respects you, respect him, he respects you.
Yeah. Honestly, I would never expect it because the stuff I've seen from 50 is all like his like gangster persona.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
But that's really cool, honestly.
Yeah, he's a very good man. He's a very good guy, bro.
I feel like meeting people like that is just motivating in the sense because it's like I there's nothing I love more in this world than when I meet somebody and they're just truly humble. You know what I mean? Because like I've met a bunch of like arrogant, like just really mean people, and that stuff just you're not helping anybody.
Yeah, 100%.
You know what
I distance myself from people like that. But you'll notice like the really, really arrogant people are not really even people that are that important, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They take themselves a little too serious.
Yeah.
Like, all right, bro, relax. Like,
yeah, life
yeah,
isn't
you got a
that
little bit of
serious.
status, you got a little bit of success, you got a little shit going on for yourself, but like, you don't have to be a dickhead.
Yeah.
You know, like, there's guys that have way more than you, people have way more than you that don't fucking act as like 10% as conceited as you, bro. You know what I mean?
If you were 18, 19 again, would you do anything differently?
Nah.
No.
I don't think so.
What advice would you give to that 18-year-old who...
Try to stay off social media as much as possible.
Yeah? How come?
Social media, I feel like a lot of the fucking content that's put out is just toxic to young kids, to young men.
You said men specifically.
To young men, yep. Even girls, like, dude.
Yeah.
Like, you're a regular girl, you go on Instagram, you see all these models, like, they got
BBL.
5,000 likes, they got random dudes sending them fucking $5,000 just because they like the way they look. Like, even for girls, like, damn, like, but like, obviously I want to target, I want to target the audience of young men. Just don't take Instagram so fucking serious, dude. Go in there, try to find, like, I try to follow people that like inspire me. If you go on my Instagram, I don't follow any celebrities.
Yeah.
Because I feel like most celebrities won't add value to my day to day. I follow people that like inspire me, my friends, things like that. And I try to keep my feed, like when I see shit in my feed that's stupid, I just fucking say do not recommend it. Do not. I don't want to see it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't want to roll my fucking eyes every time I look at my Explore page.
It's so funny you say that because I was actually on FaceTime with my buddy last night and I was sharing my Instagram. Like, I was showing him something and he was like, dude, your feed is so clean. He's like, I just have like BBL girl.
Yeah, man.
I'm like, dude, every time I go on there,
Yeah.
like if that ever pops up, I just press not interested, not interested. So I
that
find
too, like honestly, bro, the thirst traps from girls, I think that's fucking very toxic to young men too. I think like that's not gonna fucking inspire you, bro. It's just gonna, like whatever. You gotta surround your try to like when you go on Instagram and just like that's why I say stay off Instagram. Use it to promote your business, use it to network, but don't spend every fucking waking second of your day on there because like
what would you tell them to focus on? Because I see a lot of all right, I could speak for myself. Like when I was earlier in my 20s, like yes, I was grinding, going to school, but at the time I'd be focused on girls. Like me and my buddies, like, all right, we're gonna go out, we're gonna do this, do that, and like I thought it was like now I think it's the dumbest stuff ever because it's like
I don't think you should like completely get rid of your social life, dude. Everybody needs a fucking social life, bro. Like we're not robots. Everybody needs a social life, bro. Like you can't be in that like fucking head down, blinders on all the time. You need to blow off some steam once in a while, but you do it within reason. And just don't fucking celebrate every chance you get. Like, do something, get something, make some progress, you know, and then you celebrate it. But in the meantime, listen, have a social life. Like, see your friends, do what you got to do things you enjoy outside of work because you need to. You need to blow off that steam.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, don't let your social life get you in trouble and hinder your progression when it comes to your goals and where you want to be.
How do you balance that social life and work and then building the business?
I'll be honest with you, bro. I'm kind of like giving advice that I should be taking myself.
Yeah.
Because, like, bro, when I'm not firing on all cylinders business-wise, I am like a fucking stay-at-home. I don't do shit. I don't want to talk to nobody. Not like in a jerk-off way, but like, dude, I don't want to joke around. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. I just want to fucking get back to business and just get back to where the fuck I need to be.
How funny is that? Because I find that even in myself, like I give a lot of advice where I'm like, damn, I should probably take my own advice. Do as I say,
not as I do.
Yeah. That's really good.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's tough, dude. And so many people say, it's like, bro, what'd you do? Like, what have you been doing the past couple of weeks? Like, I'm like, dude, I'm working, bro.
Yeah.
Fucking when I don't have anything to like be happy, I have plenty to be happy about. I'm gonna say that. I don't want to sound grateful. But, you know, when I'm not, like, operating on a level that I'm satisfied with, I become, like, I kind of go into a shell. And I'm, like, I don't break out of it until I'm back to where I need to be and things are going my way again.
So what do you do to break out of it? Just work? Put your head down and work?
Put my head down and work. But, honestly, when I get to that point, dude, like I said, I go to the gym. Sometimes I'll just go for a drive. A lot of things I do, like, a big thing that I do, I like to do a lot of car events with my friends.
Yeah.
Like my group of friends, because obviously I have a lot of friends that have supercars and stuff. Like we do stuff. Like last Sunday, I went to Cars and Cafe. Yeah. And honestly, bro, I was having such a shit week. I had to get up at like 6 a.m. to get there because it was a Reynoso Porsche on Route 1, Cars and Cafe.
Yeah.
Tony has the fucking best events. If you ever want to go to a sick fucking car event, go to Cars and Cafe. Tony's the best. He's the one that organizes it. Bro, I was just having such a shit week, and I was like, dude, like, I don't want to fucking get up at 6:30 in the morning to drive, bro. I want to just sleep in. But you know what? I was like, fuck this. I got up at 6:30. I picked my boy up. We went. I got to see my friends. I got to do something because my whole life, my whole business is around fucking cars, dude. I can't escape cars if I wanted to. I'm always around them, bro. So I was like, fuck it. You know what? Let me do something fun. Let me just do something that doesn't have, like, no work. I'm not going to talk any shop. People come up to me. I'm not going to fucking talk shop. I'm just going to go have fun. I'm going to fucking enjoy cars. I'm going to pretend like I was the fucking 18-year-old kid that used to go to fucking Cars and Coffee to see cars. I'm going to just go and just blow off some steam. And, dude, I went. I was there for a couple hours. I saw so many of my friends. No drama. Just great talking about cars with people, conversing, bullshitting. And then we did another event. We went to VMS Lux in Mattawan to watch F1. with me, and I went with the guys from Cars and Social. It's another big car event group. The best. Actually doing something this Thursday.
Yeah.
At Cousins. We're having cigar night.
I gotta go.
Cousins Clam. You sure, bro?
Yeah.
Cousins Clam Bar in fuck, I forget. It's in Jersey. But dude, we have cigar night on Thursday. That's tomorrow. I actually gotta get a haircut, but and it's like, dude, that I got home. I ended up getting like a booking. I ended up making some money that day. I ended up booking like a wedding for Friday for one of the cars. So like, but it was just, dude, like, I didn't want to do it. I wanted to fucking stay home and sleep in and just be a fucking in my shell. But I got out. I had a good day, and I felt so much better. Like when I got home, I was like, And then Monday, I was obviously ready to go back in and do what I got to do, and I had a decent week, you know, with work.
Yeah.
But dude, like, it's very important to blow off some steam. Not and like, don't go out and drink and do drugs and do stupid shit. But like, hobbies that or activities that will like help you in your fucking path to wherever you're trying to go.
Just decompress and like unwind, where you don't have to be stressed about business, 100%. Where you could just have a good time. Go to the fucking
park, play basketball. Go, you know, go to the gym. Go run on the track. Do something. Go to whatever makes you happy, bro. Go to the gun range. You know,
I love the gun range.
Me too, bro.
that's best.
I was thinking about stopping. I always go to the one in Secaucus.
Yeah.
I was thinking about stopping on the way.
I go to Gun for Hire.
Nice. That's in Woodland Park?
Yeah.
I've been there before.
It's nice.
Yeah.
I need to go. There's one in Wayne that my dad goes to.
Long Shots.
I've
been there.
I heard it's good. I gotta
dude.
try
it's
it out.
Huge. It's nice. Yeah. I've been there a couple times.
Honestly, I just started shooting.
Actually, I've been there once.
I started shooting probably like 2 years ago, and it was the funniest thing in the world because my buddy he purchased a firearm, and then he took me, but he, like, you know, when you purchase a gun here, you have to go through the classes and stuff and do all the. So I just went with him, and I forgot if I got like a day pass or something. I forgot what it was, but I didn't take any classes, and like that was my first time being around like anything like that. And I remember walking into the range, and I'm like, oh, like I heard it go off, and I'm like, my
even
body.
No matter how many times you go, as soon as you walk in that fucking for the first time and you start hearing guns, even with the shit on, you start hearing guns go off. You're like, you get used to it, but it's like, dude, it fucking startles you.
Especially there was the second or third time I went, there was a Desert Eagle. I thought it was a rocket launcher. I was like,
yeah, bro.
Holy smokes. It was intense. But like stuff like that, those are like healthy hobbies.
Of course.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
Especially like nowadays, I feel like everybody has a gun in the United States. So 100%. Like I only have one to protect myself. You know, God forbid I would ever have to use it. But
me too. I have my. You got it, bro. Nowadays.
Yeah, you want to be able to protect you and yours. You know. But I actually wanted to cut it there. I think we ran for an hour 20.
Perfect.
I appreciate you, brother, for your time.
No worries, man.
I always
Thank you for having me, bro.
Yeah, of course. I always
say
something similar to everybody, but it's because I truly do appreciate their time. Like, you guys are coming out here, giving me a chance, giving me an amazing conversation, and I get to learn a lot.
Of course,
so
bro.
Thank you for your time, brother.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate you having me, man.
Of course. Anytime. You're welcome back anytime. I always tell people, like, you're invited to my space. You know what I mean?
Sounds good.
Thank you, bro.
Thank you, man.
But, yeah, we could cut it there, keep talking. But
awesome.
I was just so fried. I didn't want it to be like.
Yeah, nah, I got you, bro. I'm fucking tired myself.
Yeah. No, but that's really cool. We gotta go shooting one time, honestly.
Yeah, man. I haven't shot in so fucking long.
Me either, because I personally don't own a gun. My dad does, and all my buddies do. So I just always go with them. So whenever I tag along, I just put in my get my license for it. I've been waiting for like.
You don't have for Jersey?